Hello and welcome to my presentation, where I will discuss my topic, the theme of globalization, as well as my main arguments and which sources I have chosen to support them. For my research essay, I have chosen topic 1, which was corporate globalization in the early modern era. I chose this topic to gain a better understanding of the cultural and economic effects of globalization and European exploration. It will help to better contextualize the consequences of the global corporation in the early modern era. For my essay, I will focus on the Dutch East India Company and its relationship with forming modern capitalism. Globalization has many different meanings, but in this context, globalization can be defined as the interconnected economic, technological, and cultural exchange between Europe, Africa, and Asia between the 16th and the 19th centuries. This is due to the fact that modern systems of globalization can all be traced back to European colonialism, corporatism, and technological innovation that started in the early 16th century. It is critical to understand how European exploration to the east caused globalization in the early modern era. My research question aims to understand how the Dutch East India Company created the foundations of global capitalism in the modern era. The VOC created global capitalism due to their financial reforms and global trading network. This was done through the joint stock company model, as well as their global trading empire and forts in places such as Batavia, Java, Formosa, and India. Grasping the early rise of capitalism as influenced by the VOC will lead to greater understanding of globalization. This is mainly due to the economic and cultural exchanges that were central to the VOC's trading relationships with different communities all across the globe. In my research assignment, I argue that the VOC did to a large extent create the foundations of modern global capitalism. This is due to the interconnected global economy the VOC created between Asia and Europe that still exists today. The VOC shares many similarities between modern capitalism, which include monopolization, forced labor and slavery, as well as commodification. Ultimately, I argue that capitalism created globalization as it led to a transcontinental system of global interaction and trade. The formative years of the modern corporation will explain in depth the concept of the Lord 17 Board of Directors, as well as what effect the public sale of shares within the VOC had on the Dutch East India Company's operations. Secondly, the book by William Pettigrew and David Viviers will assist me in understanding the motives behind European overseas enterprises, as well as how the commodifications of goods from the East proved influential in creating a capitalist economic system in Europe and across the world. Lastly, the book Dutch Ships in Tropical Waters will be vital to highlight the transcontinental exchanges and interactions of the VOC that influence globalization. Secondly, the book How the West Came to Rule will provide critical information surrounding how the rise of capitalism was a global phenomenon. In conclusion, understanding how the VOC influenced the rise of modern capitalism has many benefits in contextualizing the definition of globalism. It helps to conceptualize the economic integration between global powers, and it provides key insights into how globalization was driven directly by the VOC's capitalistic voyages and trading relationships worldwide. Ultimately, it will help us to understand how global capitalism was established, and it will be essential in conceptualizing the interdependent relationships within globalization.